All right, it's Liam. I want to thank everyone at the Oasis podcast. As you were.
There we go. Hello and welcome back to the Oasis podcast, the ultimate audio guide to Oasis. Our good friend and leader of the OCG, not the organised crime group, but the Oasis Collectors Group. Kyle, mate, how you doing?
Not yet. Oh, guys, crying. No, God, it depends how the business goes, doesn't it? I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Again, just wanted to just say pretty quickly, I'm wearing sunglasses inside for a health reason. I've had surgery on my eye last week, so I'm not trying to look cool. So yeah, just before I nip that in the bud pretty straight away.
Yeah. No, whereas I typically wear sunglasses inside. That's just because I try and be cool. Yeah, because I haven't got the Manchester
Yeah,
accent, so I've got to bring it up some other way.
yeah. It's good. It's good to look. The Manchester is good for looking cool, but not good when you're trying to get credit at the bank. So it depends what setting you're in. You know what I mean?
But yeah, very excited to see Bittersweet Home. So I thought my Supernova Studios looked pretty smart, and I check out Bittersweet Home. I'm like, Jesus, no, actually, yeah, but no, very very cool. It's all looking very good, mate.
Yeah, I've been in the loft room for got 5 years now, and I needed a second bit, and I got quoted for this little unit in the garden sorting out, and I was talking like 10 grand. It's crazy money. But then my dad's a joiner and a total legend, so he came up and did it. We did it together. It's exceeded expectations. On that note, actually, he's just up finishing some decking outside. So if you're only banging outside, it's not the cops going to the OCG. It's my dad putting a gate on. So he's no, he's really done me a massive solid with this. It's great. It's great, and it's nice to display stuff. You know, we'll cover it later on, but I'm looking at trying to do a fan unofficial exhibition in this year for kind of my bits and pieces. So it's nice to see how it looks up all together. You know, all the bits and pieces and what it could be like in June. Plus, it's a separate space. I think upstairs I've just got a bit. Obviously, I used to work in finance, and that was my kind of finance room, my office. And gradually, over 5 years, there was less, you know, boards on the wall with documents on, and more discs on the wall, and more records, and it just didn't become a place where I felt like I could work. Whereas in here, I've got a desk that's made out of a fly case, and it's good for packing orders on and stuff for the website. So it's good. There's storage units up the side there, and yeah, it's perfect, absolutely perfect. Hopefully, it'll
Smart.
encourage more work.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. All good. And yeah, and it's been a busy old time for you, on a number of points. But you were mentioned on last episode because you met up with a few of the guys at the Teenage Cancer Trust gig for Noel, and you had the flag flying as well, which was
Uh,
noticed.
Bit cheeky now, but considering I've just had cancer, got over it, and donated quite a lot of money to it recently, I thought I'll push my luck. But yeah, they're okay with it. Yeah, that TCT gig was the best I've seen though. The best, honestly. I think that the current band are just so tight and so perfectly grounded together that it makes everything they do now. Just, I mean, obviously, Council Skies is an album. It's actually my favourite solo album he's done, and probably my favourite work he's been involved in since the master plan. I love it, absolutely love it. I still listen to it daily now. So to go and see that live so many times this year was great. But we got the VIP box at the thingy. It wasn't gifted, and we had to pay a fortune for it. But when you break it down to how many beers you get and the experience, it's well worth it at the Royal Albert Hall. I recommend it absolutely. But yeah, I just had the brainwave a few weeks before. I thought, could I do something with is you see flags at gigs all the time. I thought, there'll be people holding stuff up and stuff. Maybe I'll just be a bit cheeky. So yeah, I just had it over the side a couple of times, and it seemed to work. I
Mm.
think 312 new mailing list members in an hour, and a
Wow,
good
fantastic.
few states. Obviously, in between Blossoms and Noel coming on, there was a bit of a spike in activity. I thought, right, okay, that's all I wanted really, to say hello in a different way. But yeah, it worked quite well. It's up there, the flag actually. I don't know what I'll do with it next. Maybe put it in a museum if the business does well.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah.
all good. And then the other one that that we mentioned to you last week was because just as I recorded the last episode, I just had pinged a reply to Matt Morgan. So Matt Morgan, he said I'm a patron, and he said, "Oh, I'm having Noel on," any questions for him. You know, whoever's question gets the most likes will ask it. And I
Saw this
thought,
yesterday, yeah. Before I went a bit mental for one stage in the day, I thought, what's happened? Who's what's gone on?
what's James done? But yeah, I was like, so I pinged this question up to him, basically saying, because we know we've talked about it, that you've got these demos that you've heard, unheard Noel songs from 97, 98, and a few of us in the inner circle have heard them, and they're amazing, and you're just like, these need to be out there, right? And yeah, and so Noel commented on it, so I'll drop in the clip here.
Oasis podcast says Kyle from the Oasis Collectors Group has some unheard Oasis demos from 97, 98 that we would love to get an official release, as there are some great tunes in there. He even tried to return them to Noel a few years back via management. Is Noel aware of this, and are there any plans for an official release, say for the Be Here Now 30th anniversary?
He sent me a USB stick, right? He may as well have been sending me a fucking microchip from the future. I don't know what he's expecting me to do with a USB stick.
Right.
Right. And a letter saying that these demos, I haven't listened to the USB stick. It's still in the fucking plastic jiffy bag that he sent it in Hampshire somewhere. If he wants me to listen to it, then he can put them on CD, or unless that is the USB stick. I don't know what these songs are. I would be sceptical of there being any full songs on there. They might be just a lot of, because sometimes, as I remember, particularly during BA now, when everyone had gone to bed, Owen would leave the mics on and I'd sing a verse or a chorus of some tunes, but I don't think there's going to be anything. There'll be a song on there called If We Shadows, for sure. But was it finished? I don't know. Other than that, it doesn't. Do you know what? It doesn't interest me. I got the, and thanks for sending it and all that. I've yet to even listen to it, so it's not something that interests me, if I'm being honest. But if you do want me to listen to it, then send it on a CD. Because USB stick, where am I going to put that? I haven't got a laptop.
Yeah. You could ask your children or management.
Well, I could do. That's right. I could do. Yeah, but I'm not going to.
Right, so send him a CD, or maybe even a little C90 cassette, and he'll pop that in his Walkman.
No, it's better on CD.
It was good. It was good to hear, actually, because I did send him a while back. I did speak to him for a contact. It wasn't actually at management; it was through security. I did email management, but I didn't hear back. But they must get this so much. They must get all sorts of nonsense sent to them that I didn't expect anything. But yeah, I got, and he said to just send it to me, and I just didn't feel comfortable sending the DAT tape. And here's another way of putting it: if he didn't know how to use a USB stick, what would he have done with a DAT tape? You know what I mean? You don't get DAT plays anymore. So it's kind of good that I didn't send it. But the good thing is it's a disposable USB bin. I can put it on a CD. But the DAT tapes here, I've still got the copy. So I think probably the best way of doing it is, what did he say again? Now it was I didn't think they were full songs and any good. But I mean, obviously when we was at Rockfield Studios, I played them to you, didn't I, on my phone? And you are they full songs?
There are absolutely full songs. They are full songs.
Are they good?
There's fucking amazing. And there's a couple of originals, and then there's a couple where it's like, oh, that bit has then been reused in a different song. So it's not just like, oh, it's cool to have a song, but for me as an Oasis historian, it's like, oh, it's really interesting that this verse that ended up in this chorus of this song on the next album, it's all about the genesis of how these things come together, right? And that's fascinating. So to me, it's like, it's not just cool to have a new song, but it's like that piece of Oasis history that we're not aware of.
Yeah, and I think there's two elements to trying to put this together. I did say thank you right there. I thought I'd annoyed him when I was listening. I thought, God, he's well pissed off. He's really angry at me. But then he said, thanks for sending it. So it is a case of, it is the best way of putting this. I've been offered nearly 20 grand for that tape and turned it down because I really do feel like it should be in his hands to decide. Now he's got it, I feel better. I feel better that he's got it. I can relax now. I've done my bit. But at the same time, you need to listen to it because it's listen, I know other people that are in the band, that have been involved in the band. I won't name them. That I've played them to in person, and they've not heard them before. And said, I remember that being recorded. So these are, I genuinely think it is a lost tape. I really do. And I think the key thing is, if he was ever to put a B-side on a reissue or an anniversary, there it is. But the pressure's off now. I feel okay that I've put it back in his hand. If you
Yeah.
don't ask Anna to put a USB in, you can ask Anna to do it for him. But what I think I'll do is I'm not going to send it again, and I don't want to be bringing up the past over and over again. If he's wanted to move on and leave it, full respect to that, because what he's doing right now is unbelievably good. So yeah, you don't want to kind of annoy people, do you, and keep pestering on. I think what I'll do is I'll probably just put a little reply up on my social media and leave it at that. And that's done then. But if he wants a CD burning, I can burn a CD as well. It is what it is. But listen, I think now I know it's in his hand, I can just relax a bit now. Because if that people sit and hoard these things for years and years and years, which I can understand if they spent a lot of money on them or they've got them through unusual means. But yeah, these just seem to be quite cool. And I thought, when they've done Don't Stop in the past and they've done a few other, bits and pieces that have come out, I thought it would be quite a good one that it could have as an option down the line. But yeah, we'll just see what happens. I'll put something up this week, and then I absolutely will put a full stop under that, because I think I feel good that it's arrived in his hands. So that's good.
Yeah. That was the key thing, wasn't it? It wasn't just kind of picked up by some random and just chucked in a thing. That we know he's got
I
it.
think that's what happened to it. I think it was picked up by someone, chucked in somewhere, and it was in a bag for years. And then it just kind of, I got it by accident, really. And then that could have been gone. And again, I keep putting myself in other people's minds. And if no one's wanting to leave that stuff behind, absolutely fine. However, being Sweden and sit on the fence, they do keep doing reissues and anniversary packets and stuff like that. So if they keep selling albums on to keep the brand alive and keep things moving, I mean, it's never going to go. The band is never going to disappear ever. But to get a fan to buy a new reissue, it's good filler content, isn't it? It's another reason to so plus now that all these little forums that hate me and say just put it on YouTube, I can now say, look, that's why I've not done it, because now that I've sent it a while back, and now I can be relieved of all the slagging off.
Yeah, and it is funny that he's gone, oh, there'll be a track on there called If We Shadows, and it's like, no, If We Shadows isn't on there, and no, If We Shadows was released on the Be Here Now session from 10 years ago or 8 years ago or whatever. So it's like he just doesn't even know what's gone out. It's madness.
Yeah, I suppose he does. I suppose the involvement of having some of the things, it probably is just done by the label now, isn't it? Done by the label with some consultation from so and so, and then it's put together and done out, and that's the way these things work. Fine. So yeah, that's why I took it over to the label then, and let them deal with it. But I think, for the 50th time saying it, I just feel good now that it's done and it's and because that is exactly, that's why I didn't send the DAT tape. I just didn't send it because I just didn't trust it would get there and not sit in a unit and whatnot. So I could even send a Dropbox link or something like that, a Google Drive link, but yeah, the USBs. I'll just do a
USBs,
reply.
too complicated.
Do you know what I'll do, actually? Someone said yesterday, just tag Matt Morgan in it, because he asked the question. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a private YouTube video to say this. There is one line from each song, something like that, just to ring a bell.
Yeah.
And tag Matt in it and say, just show that, and they're done. If you want a CD, great. But then I'm literally just going to go over and out. That's it. That's the job done.
No, fair play. Well, then the big one, obviously you've always got a million things on, but then I suppose the big one that popped up the other day, and I was so happy to see this because it's something that I've wanted to do for years. I put on these live events, and it tended to be, a conversation with Tony McCarroll, conversation with Alan McGee, maybe a band on or two bands on. But my dream was always like I went to Mod's Mayday a few times, and you'd have a whole weekender with bands and memorabilia and stuff, and actually to have like an exhibition as well and have all the stuff. That was always the dream. And you were on it. So the Salford stuff, right?
Yeah, I think it's one of these things that I've been asked to do for years. Not just because I don't just collect Oasis stuff. I collect all sorts of music memorabilia, everything really. I always have done. I always say the second I moved away from Manchester, I moved to Scotland. Nothing against Scotland, but I really missed home. And I just started buying things that reminded me of being young in Manchester. And that turned into effectively the music memorabilia equivalent of a crack addiction. You know, I just could not stop. But then when you start meeting new people and you start making friends and networking, it's just a fun hobby, isn't it? That middle-aged men who are in the middle of life crisis start to do. But yeah, the exhibition was always people saying, but there's something a bit what's the word I'm looking for? A bit kind of big-headed and show-offy to try and put an exhibition of your stuff on. I just felt a bit stupid doing it. But then this year felt quite, I don't know, 'cause it's the anniversary, and then you know, there's a few new things that I've got in that I thought would be quite good to show off. I thought, you know, I'll just do it, see how it goes. You know, I don't want to upset anyone. Ignition, it's a totally unofficial exhibition, just of my own stuff. So I won't be using any kind of copyrighted stuff. You know, there won't be any songs being played or anything like that. It's just going to be as down the line as I possibly can. I've taken some legal advice on how to avoid upsetting people, but I would hope they would just see it as fans coming together and appreciating the brand.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to, you know, it's costing a fortune. It's not going to make any money. You know, it's just going to pretty much break even. But it'll be really good if it all comes off as planned. Yeah, it's going to be 3 days, Salford Lads Club, raising money for Salford Lads Club. You know, it's half for charity, which always helps. But yeah, it's gonna be all right. Yeah, I think we'll have. You know, there won't be any of these songs played there. For example, the first question everyone says is, "Are you going to play any of the Unheard songs there?" No. You know, I'm trying to keep on the right side of the people that matter, and I just want to show that as a fan, because actually that's the way to think about it, and that's the reason people enjoy these sort of videos. There's so much stuff. It's like the Beatles. You know, there's so much stuff that comes with every release, a promo item, a vinyl, with this, that. You know, and then it's stepped up a level in the last couple of years that we've got guitars have appeared and flight cases and amps and all sorts. So there's going to be a lot of that stuff on there. It's not just me. It's not just my stuff. There's other people involved that are putting in guitars, amps, cases, drum kits. As a fan experience, because that's what I want to say it as. It's not an exhibition. It's an experience. It'll be you'll walk in and you'll feel like, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. You know, I've never seen this many band-owned guitars and drum kits from band members and, you know, flight cases. You know, it'd be good. An exhibition can sometimes be. I did something for Factory Records a few years back, and it was an exhibition they did, and they asked me to lend them my factory collection, which I did. And it was a bit boring. You know, it's just, yeah, I feel like sometimes when you go to these things, it's like an art gallery, really. You'll walk on a wall full of prints, and you will stand and look at every print, and you'll pull that face, that I'm interested face. But really, you're not that. Once you get past like 5 or 6, you're like, oh, I just want to go for a beer now. Whereas I think keeping it varied, short bursts, time essence displays. The cover of Supersonic, for example, you know, where it's all messy and there's like amps and there's guitars and a rug, and I'm going to try and put a display together that kind of in that ilk. And then there's a stage, so I can put some stuff on the stage. And it's good. I've got a few Q&As on a Sunday. There's Nick Bryan's coming down from Rockfield and doing kind of similar to what we did last time. And I don't know if you've been following his stuff, but he's got the boys at Sahaji, you know, the band he's signed.
Yeah.
But they just happened to be in the UK at that time and get on quite well with them boys. So they're going to come down and close it off with a little acoustic set of their material on the Sunday. Brian's doing a Q&A from Microdot. So it's going to be, yeah, like I say, an experience rather than just walking in and looking at the walls. If it all goes to plan, it'd be good. I need to go to plan. I need to not upset anybody, and I need to not get divorced. Because what I've realised is there is a reason there are teams that organise exhibitions, not one person sat in the garage. So yeah, I'm bogged under at the moment. I'm just hoping to survive it.
No, fair enough, mate. I tell you, just from putting on like the water rats and things like that I did, you know, that we met at, it was so much hassle, like, and that's the thing. And you know, I also added in that I sang with my band as well and things like that. So not in the Glasgow one, in the London one, but London, adding booking the bands and booking the things. So yeah, I can absolutely appreciate it's a complete hassle, but yeah, mate, exactly that for me. I mean, obviously it'd be great to see all the stuff, but yeah, the Q&As and things, that was always the struggle for me, because it was like people don't realize, they're like, oh, why don't you do like Brian Cannon and Alan McGee and Tony McCarroll? That would be great. It's like, okay, do you want to pay 50 quid a ticket? You know, because that's the thing, you just cannot, you can't make it
Well,
work.
I've had that. Yeah, I've looked at the price point, and I had some guy on the internet was like, "He's ripping fans off. He shouldn't be charging for a ticket for this." And get to bed. The kids need food. You know, things cost money. You know, and literally, I've worked out the ticket price at £20 each, and the only reason I put it at that is because that gets me what I need to pay for all the stuff. The venue itself was £4 grand. Security was over £2 just for someone to sit outside in a van overnight. You know, everything adds up. Everything adds up. Display cases. Jesus Christ! Oh my Lord! I don't know what's going on. Well, is this famous glass display cases? We're talking £6 grand. I'm like,
We're in the wrong business, mate.
To rent them, I said, cocaine dealers need to get rid of that. Get on the glass display cases, make a fortune. I just think you just don't expect it all until you really write it down and you see the spreadsheet and you go, yeah, this is scary. And my missus, you know, love her to bits, cool woman. She's Scottish and she's tight as hell with money. And honestly, I can't get anything out of cupboards. It's all for the kids. And I'm outside eating grass in the garden, and she's seeing this spreadsheet, and she's like, "Yeah, what are you playing at?" I'm like, "Listen, I think it can work, but listen, if it doesn't break even, whatever. If I have to spend some money to do this, I think it'll be good. I mean, there's no beating around the bushes there. I've started this company, and it's my passion. I enjoy it, and it's just a good way of promoting, doing events that are good for people. And I try to do everything with an element of charity in there as well. Everything.
Yeah.
So this being for the Salford Lads Club, times are hard these days for people in general. So TCT would tell me the donations were massively down last year. I suspect that's why there's a massive push on things at the moment. You know, they've got some amazing things for sale on their website. I've just got a new order and Paul Weller print on the way that should arrive today or tomorrow, actually. They've got so much good stuff on there. But TCT have got that reach that they're able to pull the artists in and say, right, guys, what can we do? Someone like Salford Lads Club, they haven't, you know, they're just literally going on donations of when people happen. So, I'm basically paying them over the odds to rent the place. But then there'll be things going on at the time that I'll give 50% of the money to. So they'll do well out of this, and that's the key thing. And I only remember the other day that Noel actually did a Q&A there, didn't he, a few years back?
Yeah.
He did something.
Yeah. That's all for that stuff.
Away from it now because I get asked the same fucking questions all the time, and it's the worst question is, I know I'm not supposed to ask this. Like, why are you fucking asking me? And then it's like, you know, the inevitable question. And to answer the question, I haven't got a fucking clue. And then I have.
Yeah, totally forgot about that. So it's a venue that needs help, and if I can break even and give some other, let's call them not just con fans, other sad acts like us a chance to look at things that will bore the life out of band members, but we quite enjoy looking at and harking back on. And great. I think it'll be good. I just got to every single thing I do, go right. Make sure I'm not upsetting mum. Make sure I'm not going to end up in prison. Make sure I'm not going to end up in court. So it's like scary, scary.
Oh, but it's all worth it.
Anybody watching this, it's all for the love of the brand, the band, and the fans. I think that's the best way of putting it.
Absolutely. That's awesome, mate. Well, look, I won't keep you too long because I know you've got a million things to do, but anything else you want to let us know? Any other nuggets you've got for us?
I went to the Liam and John Squire gig, actually. That was quite. Have you been to any of those shows?
No, I didn't. I tried to get tickets, and I also tried to get. I got a copy of the album early, which is great because I've never got anything like that from Fear PR before. But actually, it was Debbie's sister sorted me out, which was great. And I did try and blag a freebie, but then didn't happen. There's just so much emphasis on print media. If you work for a magazine, even if it sells 3 copies, you're fine. Yeah, a podcast with lots of the listeners, nothing. But yeah, no, I didn't get to see them. Where did you see them?
So I'm in Glasgow. I obviously had tickets. I would like to have seen them in my hometown in Manchester, but it was booked the same weekend that Noel was playing TCT. So I saw them in Glasgow. I mean, I've just on Fear PR there. You mentioned I've got sneakily. I want to have a chat with Debbie. Hopefully, and I'm going to drop her an email when the promo video is done and see if she's also okay with the exhibition. Imagine Liam turned up. Imagine how good that would be. Won't happen, but you never know. I'll be honest about the gigs in Glasgow. it was an event. You know, the John Squire and Liam. It was an event because it was the first one of the tour,
Yeah.
and the Barrowlands is an absolute stormer of a venue. And Glaswegians are just, when there's a gig on, it's different. You know what I mean? It bounces, and yeah. I mean the Barrowlands bounces anyway. It's the floor, isn't it? But it's really good, and that was my first kind of out. Obviously, we've not mentioned on this podcast, but I had to have my eye totally removed last month through cancer after effects, hence wearing the glasses. So that was my first kind of outing. After kind of I think I was out of hospital a week and a half before. I shouldn't have gone. I really should have gone, but you just can't miss these things. You know what I mean? I thought, pop an eye patch on, stop moaning, and go and enjoy it. And that's and I'm glad I did, because it was very it was good. It was good. And the album is a real grower. The first half of the gig especially was, you know, they played the 4 best songs on the album first, I think. So it was a real good start to the gig. But we had a good meet up with all the lads in the Glasgow and surrounding areas. Went for a few days across the road first, and afterwards it was good. I think that's the good thing about gigs these days. You know, people that come on their own, you know, totally on their own, that probably wouldn't have gone before, because you know they can go to a pub that gets posted online and there's 40 of us all there. I think it's good to do that. So yeah, I think there was about 30 people there for that gig. And it was good. It was good.
That's
I
great,
like
isn't
it.
it?
I managed to get a signed copy of the album the other day. I should have brought it down. So I didn't meet them myself, but managed to get a signed by Liam and John copy. Oh, and I got this as well. Tell you what, I'll do.
Go on then.
I got this signed by Squire. I bought the scratch plate off somebody that met him somewhere, and then obviously the Stone Roses. You know, this is Roses Squire Strat he had that's all wrecked up and roughed up. I'm going to get the old disc sander out later on and just rough it up and make it look proper old school. You know, it's. But I thought I'm having that. It's cool. I thought I'll have a bit of that. But it's. I'll show you. I think you've probably seen most of the stuff in the room. Really, have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen that one, mate. That's very smart. Every original member that.
Yeah, and as a City fan, this was really cool. It was a very. It came up, and it's actually a limited edition shirt. I never realised till it landed. It's not a shirt that you could buy. It's like an old training shirt. It must have been a competition winner or something back in the day, because it was obviously signed by these of the time. And then since then, adding Whitey and Bonehead. That was the hardest thing about it, getting Bonehead to sign it. 10 minutes of chatting. Come on, please. I can't. I'm on a messing course and will. Thank God for that. But there's the famous flag. That was up there. But the exhibition, I'm looking to do tables like these, you know, ticket tables. So people will be able to. There'll be 2 of these basically. That because this is all piled on top of each other. This could be spread over 3 tables comfortably. So I'll probably do 2 or 3 era tables, and then have one that's this is a desk as well. You know, that has a table that people could sit at or stand at, completely covered up, of course. Completely covered up. I'm trying to avoid all the boxes there that need to be sorted out. I've done all the cabinet again recently. It's quite a few new additions there. That's off the like off the cover, definitely maybe one of the mic cables there. I think you've seen most of the other stuff really. Look at that recently. The little record player from B&O. Don't see many of them about. Okay, mate, good to catch up anyway.
So bittersweethome.co.uk, that's the place to be.
bittersweethome.co.uk, and then add yourself to the mailing list. That's the way to get things. You know, I'm going to be doing a few bits and pieces soon, but yeah, there's a massive stock upload of stuff that I've been meaning to put on. I'll put that on as soon as. But yeah, that's the way forward.
All right, nice one, Carl. Great to speak to you, mate. Catch you soon.
All good, mate. Take care. Cheers.